Hey guys, Harbir Singh here, and this is my first live stream. I had a couple of problems with the last one. I did just go live and it didn't work out. So I'm going to be really quick and try and get through all of your questions and add as much value in as short as time as possible. Today's subject is mainly going to be focusing on knee pain, and let's get straight into it. The first question was sent in by my good friend Justif, and he has a relative who has knee pain. Knee pain is a bit complex in the sense that there's lots of different causes of knee pain. It could be muscular, it could be the cartilage, it can be wear and tear, which is the joints. It could even be something as small as a kind of flicking tendon, which could cause knee pain. So let me get my plinth up and then I'll be able to show you a couple of things with knees. So the first thing to do is to look at the knee, and when you look at the knee here, you've got the bone at the bottom and the bone at the top. So you've got your tibia here and your femur here, and in between you have cartilage or two discs. If the cartilage on the inside gets a bit damaged, that can repair through exercise. If the cartilage on the outside gets damaged, that's harder to repair and usually needs surgery. The ligaments around the knee, the medial meniscus or the medial collateral ligament, the ligament on the inside generally can repair itself. Depending on the degree of damage, but the ACL, which you see in a lot of sports and I see in a lot of footballers and MMA guys, that usually needs a surgery to repair itself, and the surgery can leave you with a lot of restriction in terms of with range of motion with your leg, so you're not able to do that as much as you'd like to. In summary, the knee is a really complicated topic. There's lots of different issues that can happen with the knee, and so it's not as straightforward as just giving you one exercise that's going to fix it. That said, swimming is the number one best thing that you can do for your knees. It's the one exercise that you can do till the day you die. In terms of the buoyancy of the water helps take the pressure of the joints, so you can still keep active. It will also build your strength as well as your endurance and flexibility as well. So definitely, if you've got knee pain, get in the pool. If you do regular swimming, let's say 3 times a week, and your knee gets better and you don't need surgery, that's great. But otherwise, if it doesn't get better, and if you've been doing that and it doesn't get better, then you need to look at potentially getting an MRI, because an X-ray isn't going to identify any damages in the cartilage. And once you've got the MRI, then you can look at whether there's any damage in there that needs surgery. So hopefully that answers the question in terms of what to do if you've got knee pain. So moving on from knee pain to our next question. Another question came in from a friend of mine who's actually getting married. She wants to lose weight for the wedding, which we all often do, and she wants to lose it in a short period of time. She's tried intermittent fasting, and she's also tried a vegan diet. She finds that when she does do those things, she does lose weight, but as soon as she's not as strict, she gains the weight back again. She also has PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a condition which messes up with your hormones and causes some issues in terms of weight gain and resistance to lose weight. And from the clients that I've worked with, it can be quite tough to lose weight if you have this condition. If you do have this, I would recommend doing the intermittent fasting. There is something called the warrior diet, which is intermittent fasting, but a lot more extreme. I wouldn't recommend it long term, but if you're getting ready for a wedding, or if you're going on holiday and you want to get in shape or something like that, then it might be an idea to do the intermittent fasting, to do the warrior diet, which is you eat within a 4-hour window each day. So that would be like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. each day, and you'll lose weight pretty fast on that. And how do you get through till 4 p.m.? Black coffee is a good appetite suppressant, and she also said she's not keen on taking coffee. She wants to have something else. So you can have some green tea, and that will do the same thing. It has some stuff which can act as an appetite suppressant. So try that if you want to lose weight in preparation for a wedding. So moving on to the next question for our weekly Q&A. The benefit of these weekly Q&As is I get through a lot of questions in a short period of time, and then I do my produced videos which have a lot more angles and shots, but in order to get you this content really quickly and in a timely manner, I can use these live Q&As as an opportunity. So the next question was about neck strengthening. I have a friend of mine who again has pain, this time in the neck, and it also causes symptoms like numbness, pins and needles in the hand. Sorry, I hit my mic there. And again, and if you do get those symptoms, strengthening the neck can be pivotal. So what tends to happen is we know a lot about core stability of the back, but we don't know much about it for the neck. So people get this kind of issue where they can't turn their neck one way and they get a lot of pain when they turn it in one direction. And in order to remedy that, and in order to stop that from flaring up again and again, it's really important to do neck stabilization exercises. The best one for that, then you lift your leg up and down So just to show you, as if I was lying down, you'd be on this position, bed would be up to here, and then the head would be off the bed, and then you'd go chin to chest and then up to neutral, and you'd do 3 sets of 10, which would be 30 repetitions. So that would be important. With my friend, he's actually a very, very, very popular musician. Actually, he's very, very skilled. And for that kind of repetitive strain, if you're doing something again and again, then you're going to need to strengthen the neck to quite a strong degree. So you're going to have to do a lot of reps and a lot of weight. So using a wrestling scrum hat with a weight 2.5 kg plate, which is something that you put onto weights in the scrum hat, and then doing the neck extensions will allow you to strengthen the neck in a short period of time without having to do high repetitions. So that's the answer to what to do if you want to strengthen up your neck. And he actually in the past went from 14-inch neck to 17-inch neck. So it's also very good if you want to strengthen your look, because a lot of people who weight train and in the fitness industry, they have quite muscular bodies, but because it's quite difficult to work the neck, they have quite scrawny necks. So it's useful to be able to build that. So moving on, is the next question is reversing a scoliosis. And I've seen a couple of people in my clinic lately. They come in and they all kind of bent over like this, and they're trying to walk into the clinic. And what tends to happen is something goes in the back because the nerve's getting pinched, because a disc is potentially strained. The body doesn't want you to compress the disc, so the antalgic or the pain relieving posture is to bend slightly towards the side to take the pressure off the nerve. That is quite common, and as a result of that, you end up with people kind of like this, and they say their hip feels like it's stuck or something's catching on the hip. In order to remedy that, it's not advisable to just crack somebody and then think that that's going to set it back into place, because most likely that will cause a flare up. So the best thing in those instances is to get a belt with an ice pack. Wear a back belt with an ice pack, get as much ice and cooling to the area as you can. So 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off for at least 48 hours, but the longer the better. And then once you've reduced inflammation in that area, you'll be able to straighten up a lot more. Beyond that, you want to be doing stretching exercises every 2 to 3 hours, so the more the better. So you want to walk around the house, you don't want to do any heavy lifting, bending or twisting or going on long drives. But when you are at home, every 2 to 3 hours, lie down on the floor, do your stretches. So good stretches is Pilates bridge, knees to chest, crucifix. So to show you what that is, you'd be lying on your back, you'd bring knees to chest as far as you can comfortably, deep breath in, deep breath out for 30 seconds, and then you'd relax. Crucifix is when you're lying on your back, you drop your knees to one side, and then you drop your knees to the other side. So that's a crucifix. And then the bridge is when you're lying on your back, and then you lift up your hips. And that's the 3 exercises. They're also all over my channel. So if you do have back pain, those 3 exercises are kind of my tripod of very good exercises to do if you have back pain. So hope that answers the question of how to straighten up if you do have a scoliosis. Moving on is the last question that we're going to cover today, which is exercises for the elderly population to improve balance. It's a really good question. If an elderly person has a fall, they're really increasing their risk of getting a lot of issues further down the line, like potentially, speaking from personal experience, so my grandma, my nanny, she fell in India when she used to live in Delhi. She fell, she fractured her hip. We actually lived on, I think, the 3rd floor of an apartment block, fractured her hip. When she fractured her hip, she lost a lot of mobility, she lost a lot of strength, and then she kind of went downhill from there. Wasn't able to walk very much, ended up in a wheelchair, and this was all because she fell on a bus. The bus driver braked quite suddenly. When she fell, she had that fracture. The first surgery failed. She complained of pain for over a year. Once she did get better, or once we did investigate it, we found that actually there was the surgery had failed in terms of the hinge, or the hip replacement hadn't set, and they needed to redo it. By the time they redid it, because she had been immobile, or mostly immobile, for a year, she ended up not being able to be mobile again, got lots of issues as a result, and actually died. So it can be very serious. So falls in the elderly can be very, very serious and can have bad results. So we definitely want to try and avoid them. And in order to avoid them, there's a couple of things that we can do. The first is range of motion exercise for the hip. To show you what I mean, You want to stand against the wall like so, and then you want to move your leg up as far as you can, and then back down. So you'd be facing the wall. If you imagine there's a wall here, you'd be facing the wall, bring the hip up 10 times, and you want to do these each morning. You do the other hip 10 times. Next exercise is step up, so you'd have a step. You'd step onto the step, and then back down again, and you do 10 of those, step onto the step and back down again, and then you do both sides. That's very good for leg strength, functional strength. And the last thing is a wobble board, which is a round piece of wood with half a ball cut out, and you try and stand on it, you hold on to something, and that's really good for building balance. And actually, when I used to do Thai boxing, it was the go-to tool to improve your balance, so you get taken down less, and it improves your stability for kicks. So wobble balls are great even for the elderly population. Definitely worth investing in. Buying one, they're around £12 from Amazon, so not a very expensive investment, but brilliant for ankles, for knees, for lower back, and for improving balance. So definitely pick up one of those. Everyone should have one, really. So that's the question on reducing your chances of falling as an elderly person. If you do those 3 exercises on a daily basis, and you only need the wobble ball for a minute, it will greatly reduce your chances of having a fall and getting injured. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much for tuning into my live video. My motto is no person left behind, meaning I want to answer every single question that comes into me. So no question is too big or too small. I'll provide my expert opinion, do research on all of your questions, so that I can provide the best possible answer, and so that you can live without aches and pains, and we can build a world with less aches and pains. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next week.